return to the barrel job. The rifle has been away to proof, having been fitted up and rehead spaced, and it has passed proof. They have applied their markings, which, in fact, if I was replacing that sight collar with the numbers from the old barrel, if I had it, they would be in the wrong place. So yeah, that's why I didn't request they move those. But anyway, it's past proof, 8x57. So now we have to get the sights fitted up correctly onto the barrel. There are no pre-drillings or anything. So what I do, or what I've done in the past, this is rather the Mark II jig, is I've created a jig using an old barrel which relies on clamping the barrel into the jig by the old sighting positions, and then being able to pick up those drilling points through the jig process. It's actually hanging off a 8x57 bullet. I've got to take the trigger work out of the piece we're working on, bolt it into the jig with its new barrel, and that will set the position for the sight so I can mark it and then drill it and tap it correctly if required. So that's what I'm doing next. So here we go. So this is the important bit. There's the new barrel held in, sights, rear sights held into position rigidly. That gives me the point where I can mark to drill. The action is bolted by its own bolts into position. So, God willing and the creek don't rise, that puts the sights in the right place. Right guys, we're back. We're quite a way through the bluing process here. The barrel and the bolt are now just resting in cold water for a moment while the bluing solution comes up to temperature. So they're actually submerged. It's got little or no oxygen action occurring. And then when this bluing solution is up to full whack, I'll take that lid off, and you're meant to plunge it in when it's at the boil, which is pretty violent sometimes. The one in the middle is the activator. This soapy looking one is the activator, and the one at the back, at the front, this is the degreaser. So it's gone a bit icky, but I have used it quite a few times. Nice thing is that you can reuse these things. I try to keep the lid separate and also work pretty hard to avoid getting them contaminated, although it looks pretty grotty on the outside. So if I just get a cloth, let's have a look at the bluing solution. Pretty icky, looks like kind of the inside of your cesspit. And I'll come back when I've used two hands to get that lot in there. And finally we'll see what it comes out like. Okay, so I've got the bolt out. I've left the barrel in there at the moment. My next part is to immerse, well, having washed them in a wash over there, I then immerse everything in ground up chalk. Being alkaline, that should stop the bluing process totally. The only problem is that it sticks to everything and you have good old time getting it off everything else, for which I use my good old-fashioned burnishing wheel, air compressor, and lots of little brushes to sit through holes. So that's what I'm doing now, and the barrel will come out in a moment. Here we are. Now, I've been past the chalk stage. I'm quite happy that that seems fairly thin. The barrel has come up beautifully, so the chemicals were doing their thing. It's just a case of putting it together now, finding all the correct bits, and possibly burnishing back a few high edges so it looks more the part. But both the bolt and the action barrel were done in the same solution.